Oh man, sorry.
But you're still recording. Oh, it looks like we're back.
1, 2, 3.
What
Yeah,
if I
I'm
do
not
like this?
sure.
Is
I'm
it
not sure.
live?
Yeah, I always do that too. Yeah. I always do
Hello,
that too.
hello. Oh, there we are. Yes, we're live again.
We are
Yeah, we're
live.
live.
Yeah.
We back.
We're
We
back.
back
Yeah,
in
sorry
biz.
for that. I'm not sure what happened, to be honest. I'm not sure. Uh,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
yes. Sorry. Really sorry for that. Oh yeah, Minnie is saying that Hungarian internet that she has and I have is bad. It's an internet. Sorry for that. Very sorry. Oh my god. I hate when this happens. It never usually happens, but when it happens, it's very bad.
It's all good. It's all good.
Let me watch back
But
everything.
have we talked anything about game development today? I feel we only talked about my like inner demons
True,
and
true, 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 true,
the
true.
the
No, we
the
actually talked
freaking
about we actually talked about game development. Yeah, but like I
is this
said, my interviews are always like more personal oriented because I feel like um, change in the video game industry can only be made and in our life if we like discuss everything on the personal level. So in my opinion, video game industry can be really
well,
changed by going more deeply into like understanding what so it's people that who are making these games, in my opinion, that really matters. Let
yeah,
me
it just feels it's I haven't really done interviews like this because we make a game about people like pissing themselves and throwing up and falling downstairs and demons with
all over the
butt
place.
I see,
faces
I see.
and
Just the
you know,
barrier of doing
silly stuff. I'm
something
like, and the
lower
deeper meaning behind that
outwards.
is where do we belong? And I'm like, does everybody think I'm super that I'm pretentious now or what's up? Does
No,
this
no,
sound
no, no, no,
smart
no, no, no,
at
no, no,
all?
no, 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 no. Don't be like that. No, I think it's important. It's important at the end of the day. It's important. And by the way, sorry for the stream to be offline. Let me check if. I hope that Twitch saved my VOD. Come on, I'm trying to figure out if everything is saved, and let
I
me
mean, it,
check
it
it.
started a new stream, but I bet it
Yeah, it
if you
started.
have
I'm just not
the
sure until when it's saved because it's like we were talking way more than just 1 hour and 18 minutes, and it says that it's just 1 hour and 18 minutes, but it was like way more. We were
I'll suggest things. Yeah, I think it just started a new stream, so
back
I would
from
imagine
Ninja
that it
Turtles.
Yeah,
saved
exactly.
the
Oh yeah,
VOD.
no. We ended when we were talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah. Okay, I will save it then in two pieces. It is what it is. Sorry for that, really, from you, Ozan, and from all who's out there and watching it. It was down for less than a minute. Thank you, by the way, for letting me know about it. Thank you. Um. Okay. So we were talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and what I was saying is that we started singing the theme of it. Yeah, yeah. So what I was saying is that like the uh, uh, um, fifth. Sorry, I got messy in my mind with this like off-stream thing. Wasn't dubbed here in Hungary because
Right.
Hungarian thought that it has blood in it, so I had to rewatch as an adult years later after the show was done here in Hungary. I remember myself. It was played in the mornings before school time, and I was always down to wake up even earlier before school. Just watch the new episode. It was such an awesome thing. I miss, by the way, those times when we like could go sit down the TV and watch from day to day the new like episodes of like Courage the Cowardly Dog and Mutant Ninja Turtles and
Right.
all those shows that we loved as kids. I miss that because now on the internet we get all the episodes in one mostly and like just one click and do that. So I miss that connection with the TV, if I can say so, in this way. So yeah.
I watch Penguin now, like once a week, and I
Love
think
that, love
that's
that, love that. I watched only the first episode, but I loved that one. Yeah, yeah.
some shows like they want people to talk
I'm
about
more
the
of a
show.
DC guy, by the way. I'm into Marvel, but I'm more of a DC guy because I feel like the personal aspect of the all of the characters are much well written in as for the DC universe. And I always joke about this, but it's true that what I miss from, I know it will sound crazy, and don't get me wrong, I'm not like a crazy like you know I don't know how to say it, not to be controversial, but like what really shows is that like DC heroes can bleed. It means that they are like,
Right.
even if they are not humans, but you will understand that they can like be harmed, and it's not just they are heroes and they defeat everyone at the end of the day and they won. Like every time they do something as heroes. But as for Marvel movies, I felt like most Marvel movies and also comics are more like not like having this moral side of like that a hero even can be bad or a hero can even be like the one who is losing at the end of the story. It's like not always were like that. Of course comics has much more darker aspects or perspective to it, but most movies were like we won, we heroes, we saved the day, and like I was, yeah, it was great, but like I would like to know more about the hero, like what he's struggling on the daily base, on the daily level. And I think that's why for me like the Joker movies and the Batman trilogy, and also like you said the Penguin, really delivered those like feelings that okay, these guys might be not that good, might be not that bad, but they have some real issues that we can connect with
You know what show
as
I
on a
liked?
personal level, and it means to a lot for me at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
yeah. Marvel is more cartoony that way. Like they're really like they're gods and stuff. But I really liked the Daredevil show because
Oh
he
yeah,
was a
that one,
lawyer
yeah,
and he was like the like the rent prices in that part of New York were like cheap now because that's where the alien ship crashed and stuff. Like he was more into like the infrastructure of the aftermath of the Avengers movie, and
true, true,
I
true,
really thought that was awesome. Or like there was like people like selling bootleg DVDs of like recordings of the Avengers fights like on the street and stuff.
true,
Um, and I really like that in a world where there are gods and huge aliens and stuff, that you also um like that's more effective to me actually, that you also like suddenly get a show about some like he's not that, his powers aren't like that comparable to somebody like Thor. He was like a blind guy that was very good at fighting, and he was a lawyer. Like he had a blue collar job,
true,
um, and I make that a lot in. I love giving creatures in our stories that are like super ultra powerful, like the concept of death. You know, like who's gonna mess with everybody dies. Like he's the most powerful being in the universe, and he just wants to do a kickflip. Like he has like a really personal problem. I always wanted to make a game or a story about Satan trying to move a couch. Like he wants a new couch. Like that's his problem. Like he's the king of hell, and a whole game, 7 hour adventure game. I don't know what the gameplay mechanic would be, but like it's about him trying to move a couch. Or in the Holy Gosh Darn, like they talk about like this artifact that God has created. Oh my God, what it's called, the Holy Gosh Darn, and then it just turns out to be a painting. He just painted he wanted to paint, and he made a painting. Like it's just a painting. Yes, it does have the element of, if you do look at it, you are going to get mesmerized, and it has all those powers that they talk about, but it's not that incomprehensible. Like they go like, oh, this artifact, because you learn that, oh, he just made a very good painting.
true.
An amazing painting. So I really like, and War, you know, you meet War in Manuel Samuel, and then she's like, take me to the metro. Like she wants to take the metro back to hell, or like that's where the portal to hell is. Um, I really enjoy giving the like the deities superhuman and like low stakes problems. I do like have I like to have like a big issue. Like it always escalates. Like in Manuel Samuel, it's just him. He's just gonna try to survive an entire day. He just wants to show up to work to not disappoint his dad. He has like this rich dad, and those kind of like succession relationships. And then it does escalate to having to battle Satan at the end. But that's always what it starts as. Or with Helheim Hassel, he just wants to move essentially, and it ends up escalating to Odin trying to destroy Hell, and they have to save like Hell. That also um, is so funny that like Hell is in danger, and in the Holy Gosh time we were like discussing. We were like, okay, so when those paradoxes happen, does the entire universe sees existing? And I was like, dude, it's funnier if it's just heaven. Like heaven is you have to save not the universe, you have to save heaven. That's hysterical to me. Like and it started like the concept of that because I wrote the Holy Gosh or like the initial idea for it already back when we were making Manuel Samuel,
I
and
see.
then we were like, are we gonna choose Helheim as the next game or the Holy Gosh, and we had pros and cons of continuing with both games, and then it ended up being Helheim Hassel. But back then it was the whole universe like was supposed to, and the universe will get in unbalance and the timelines will get messed up if heaven blows up and stuff. So that's still implied that the whole universe is in danger. But after we did Helheim Hassel, where Pesto is like, I have to save Hell, that was so funny to me, and we were like, yeah, let's just like take it back to like you just have to for like you as a character at this, you're just concerned with like saving the fun, which is like this supposed to be this incomprehensible place. Nobody knows what it's like, but it's like, oh, they have mail and they have like streets. They just have streets and they have like the tax, the paperwork thing. I don't know what the name of that is in every country. In Norway, it's called Nav. Like that's where you go if you're like you have some paperwork issue or whatever, and they put you on hold and stuff. Like they have that in heaven, but the angel working there is this incomprehensible ring angel. So combining like something super mundane with something super supernatural is very funny to me. I love doing that. Also, if you notice, like the demons, they're always either called something ridiculous like Bork, Barsolometh or Gnarg or something, or they have a completely normal name like Daniel or
Yeah,
Bridget or
yeah.
stuff. That Frank, like there's one called Frank and one called Gronina, like next to each other. You never know if it's gonna be a crazy
But it's
demon
like that in
name.
our real world, right? So it's like really the representation of our real world, how it works, in my opinion, at least. Yeah, love that, love that, love
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So before I ask more questions, are you down to answer some questions from also the
Oh,
people who are on the stream? Are you down to
oh
that?
yeah, I love
Let
answering
them, because I'm not
questions.
sure where my internet will go. I'm still scared. Like I got a bit little nervous about my internet. So rather let them ask questions as well before I ask some more questions. So here's the time, ladies and gentlemen, where you can ask some questions. Let us know. Let us know. We touched a lot of topics here. I will ask some more questions that I have in
And
my
I
mind. But before that, please let us know if you have any questions. Hölgyek, urak, hogyha bármilyen kérdésetek van,
I
nyugodtan kérdezzetek. Let us know.
let us know. I love
Let us know.
questions,
And
especially,
by the
and I
way,
love
Karn, thank you
talking
for
to
letting
my
me know
brother.
everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate everyone who tunes in today. Thank you for understanding. I like I said, sorry for this internet problem. I will probably save it and upload it like into two parts of
Oh yeah, yeah. That's so. That's what like. it's always some curse
Yeah, like I
with
said, and
Ozan.
I was especially sad because like we are so deep in the conversations, and I was like, why now?
All right, it doesn't seem like anybody has a question, but we could just take questions organically. Just glance at the chat sometimes and see if there's a question we can answer it.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
are you
sure.
down for that?
Yeah,
Like
sure, sure.
you could write. Feel free to ask questions or something like in the chat, and we could like pin it. So if somebody comes
Oh yeah,
in,
yeah, yeah, sure, 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 sure,
they can ask
sure,
stuff,
sure,
and
sure.
then we'll answer them in between your questions.
Sure, that's a good idea. I will pin it. And
There we go. Yeah.
okay,
And
okay,
we can just move right down
okay.
along, and if
Yeah,
somebody is really
I
curious
hope
about
that my
something,
internet won't suffer in anything bad. I'm just looking real quick at the OBS settings, but it seems everything's working fine. Um, okay, so
you talk so much, my jaw is almost like my jaw is same
sorry
feeling
for
as
that.
after you've been. No, that's my fault. Like
Yeah,
I
I can
never
feel
shut
that.
up
By
if
the
you
way, I
ask
have sometimes
something.
that problem too. Yeah, yeah. Like I have so many
Gonna
teeth
take
in
off my
my
cap.
mouth, but my jaw is like not that big. Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned that like you had this like life experience or emotion when like you couldn't really feel where do you belong. But if you would have to like choose like for which place or which vision do you belong to, what would you choose? I know it's a hard question, and I'm always saying that it's rather better not to choose, and like we have discussed it, I'm totally agreeing with you that it's better like to go fully into a lot of directions rather than just one. But what would be like the ultimate place where you think that you belong, and also like is it animation or writing that you feel like you belong more? Because like I said, I feel like both. I feel like both.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I if I would have to choose uh, by your decision, I would choose making animations, right? So you would, I think that you would choose that. But of course, my question goes to you, so it's like you should choose.
No, but I wouldn't animate something that somebody else has written. The only reason
No,
like
but
I
yours,
do
yeah, yeah. That's what I wanted to
animations,
say. That's why it's both, but still, like, I feel like animation is more closer to you, in my opinion. As we talked through all those topics, I really get that message from you, even if it wasn't intentional to give me that message. But I
yeah,
felt like you're really resonating with animation more, and like you said, it's
I
your own story, but told through animations, right? So it's the vision.
yeah, I just love the cartoon like cel shaded aesthetic,
Yeah,
and the Holy Gashtan has like 3D backgrounds, but I nitpicked those 3D models so much because I was like, I don't want them to like look 3D. It's 3D, but it has to look 2D, with nice parallaxing and stuff. So that's like just the aesthetic. Like I envision most things in that aesthetic in my head. Like if I come up with a story, it's a cartoon in my head. But so I think a little bit of the reason I am the way I am is probably not to start talking about my childhood or anything, but like there was like this slight curse. The first, well, it still is like that. The first like 14 or at least 10 years of my life, we moved every year so that I
I
was
see.
always in a new
I see.
place
I see. I
for
see. I see.
every year. And then we moved to Norway and we were like, okay, we now we're gonna chill here. Like this is gonna be the place. And we lived at that place for 4 years and started moving again. And just to like
I see.
make it balance out, since the curse was moved once a year, since I lived that place for 4 years, that was my record at the time. We suddenly ended up moving 3 times in a year, like the year after, and it just has continued like that. Like I'll get a job or I'll get into school and whatever. Like I keep moving all the time, always on the move. But as a result of that, like I don't feel allegiance to anything.
I see. I see.
Like you said, like you're like, yeah, man, I'm a DC fan, and I'm like, I'll sell out. Like I don't have, and you have like people who are like, yeah, I'll stick to Microsoft. I'm loyal to Microsoft. I'll only buy the new Xbox. No, I'm a PlayStation guy. I'll stick to PlayStation. I'm not loyal to anybody. So I had PlayStation 1 and 2,
Yeah, me too.
um,
Me too. That's the
and
same. I always say
then
this, that if I love games, why should I like limit myself just to play
yeah,
on
I
one
mean,
console? It makes no sense for me, at least.
I feel like it's just some kind of mindset because some people still live where they were born, right? So they're like, yeah, like
I can relate to that. Yeah.
I'll root for this sports team because they represent the place that I'm from and
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
since they're wired like that, I suppose some people have
Like
loyalty
it would be
to
a rule or something, right? That
whatever.
they
Yeah,
supposed to like follow or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, and then like if you love Marvel movies and they start making shitty Marvel movies, you stick to them and you're like, I hope they start making good movies again. I'll just stop watching Marvel movies and then wait until they
True. True.
give
True.
out
True. True.
one that is that like Guardians 3. That's the last Marvel movie I saw that was good. And I heard like people were like, "Oh, that one is really good." I just skipped all the ones in between, like after watching which one did I see? Like Ant-Man 3 or something. I'm like, man, this is shit. Like I'm not gonna watch any more Marvel movies until somebody goes, "Oh, that one is awesome." And they did that with Guardians. But and with the consoles too, I'm like, yes, I had PlayStation 1 and 2, but I bought the 360 because I was like, that's a better console. And then I was a PlayStation 4 kid uh, person after that because that seemed like the better option. And now I'm back on Xbox. Like, I'm not loyal to anybody. And I'm which is why probably that I keep like shifting through, and I'm not loyal to like a place either. Apart from like Norway, I belong in Norway. That much I know.
I see.
But like, I won't root for Hamar's sports team or whatever. Like, and which is weird because Hamar is actually the place I have lived the longest in my
I
life
see.
so far. So if I am from somewhere, or like if I did. Uh, um, should feel allegiance somewhere, it should be that part of Norway at
I see.
least. I guess I do it a little bit, but Western Norway, where I grew up, I still say that I'm from there. And that's because I lived there not for long. I only lived there for 4 years, but I lived there in my most formative years. So I absorbed most of the like the values and the
Yeah, like the childhood times
language.
of yours. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I absorbed that place the
Yeah.
most. So I consider myself like being from there.
I see.
But I guess that's and then it just keeps going like that to what I do. Like
I
I
see.
don't go, I'm a writer. That's what I do. I made a board game last year. I was like, meh,
Would you
I'll
like to
make a
do, by
board
the way?
game.
Like, would you like to like not be on the long run and always running to different places and
I
always like
think I'll
challenge yourself, or would you rather in the future want to like settle down and say that, okay, I found myself only in this and I don't want to do any of those anymore?
I, I don't think that's gonna happen,
I see. I
unfortunately.
see.
I
I
wish
see.
it could
I
because
see.
then I could be like a master at whatever it is. But
It's not true.
I
It's
have
not true. I think that you're a master in what you do, and I think that that's the beauty in what and how you do those things. Like what we discussed before, and I was talking about this, that I believe that sometimes uh, it's not it's more rare than people like follow more path of their dreams, but it can end up leading become one cohesive, like one big thing, right? So like I said before, is that like you made this universe of your vision where you could make, I don't know, animated movies within that vision and within that word, comics like you said, board game within that, right? And it will tie to that whole vision of yours, which makes sense at the end of the day, because the ultimate message, I will always ask this from my creators and guests whom I talking with at my dev live shows, that what would be the ultimate message of your games. But now that we talked through, I totally get it, that like you said it before, is that the ultimate message would be probably that like everything is connected somehow,
Yeah.
and we should like really realize that we cannot like limit ourselves into just one box, that I don't know, I'm consuming Hungarian folklore because I'm just Hungarian and I should stick to just it. But we should like realize that there are so much other folklores that might end up be pretty much similar to ours, right? So it makes sense at the end of the day, and we could form connections between those. And I totally believe in that, and I feel like I always ask this on my dev live shows, as also that have you found yourself? But I think that you had, and have, because like you are in the right path of like having a lot of path in your life, right? So it's like, because it's a, even if it's not just one big box, it's like small boxes next to each other in a one bigger box, right? So
Yeah, and
which
it's
is your
also
life.
it's important to me that when we also made the Tuesday trilogy, that the games were gonna have completely different settings and gameplay
I
mechanics.
see.
Like they were not gonna be sequels of each other, but they were gonna be connected. But like you shouldn't notice that they're connected unless you specifically know, or that you have played. Like if somebody comes in
Or
and
you
plays
watched our interview.
if somebody yeah like that, like if somebody comes in and plays the Holy Gosh Darn and never another Perfect Paranormal game, like that should be fine for them. Like
I
there
see.
shouldn't be anything where they go, hmm, oh, I guess I needed context for that. Like, oh, I should play. I mean, the Holy Gosh Darn is a direct continuation of the events of Manuel Samuel. Like second, like it starts before Manuel Samuel is over, and it's like directly linked to something
I
that
see.
happens in Manuel Samuel. But like we tried to introduce the characters and the setting and stuff in such a way that you could play Manuel Samuel after the Holy Gosh and pretend it's a prequel, like and it should make the same amount of like sense, like in context and stuff. So I like that as well. Like that, I'll probably um always write stories and stuff, or come up with some way of telling a story, even if it's a board game. And I think it's really cool that if we could make a universe um, where everything is connected, but like across a bunch of different media. And I
You
would not like restart like in Marvel. I wish every DC thing was still in the same universe, but they're not. You know, they have
true,
several,
true, true,
they
true,
have
true,
different
true.
versions of Batman,
Yeah,
and
very
this
true,
is
very true.
canon, this is not canon, this
Yeah.
is canon to that Batman, that's the Arkham
At the
Batman, but
end of
this
the
is the
day, they are
Killing
like
Joke
starting
Batman.
to lose their own track of vision. That's the funniest
Yeah,
part sometimes, that like they do not understand how they all started or wanted to start with all
so
those stories. Yeah. You know
you
what's
have
interesting?
MCU,
No, go for that.
and
Sorry.
then you have the comic Marvels, so
Yeah.
that's not the same universe, so
Yeah.
that
True. True.
mutant,
True.
it's a different thing.
True.
So I
True.
would love to be able to make it in a way that everything is actually in the same universe. I mean, we might make things. I kind of regret now that, like in Manuel Samuel, Death has a crush on War. But now I wish they were siblings. If I wrote that today, like I would write them as siblings, and I want them to be like four siblings, the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Like, and I can't do that now because I thought it was hilarious back then that Death had a crush on War. So like now I just have to stick with it. But like nothing is stopping me from just coming up with four other horse
True.
people of the
True. True.
apocalypse
True. True. True.
and do that with them. And I can come up with anything I want. And we already did come up with four new horsemen of the apocalypse. They're mentioned at the end of Manuel Samuel because the current for go on a vacation. So there's four new ones called Tuesdays, reality TV, bad fan fiction, and taxes, and those are like four new skeletons. And I can just do it with them. So I'll just come up with something new. Like if I rather than making in this version of Batman, this Batman is older or whatever, like or just make uh, Porcupine Man or something like a different character
Yeah,
then. So I'm gonna try to not. If I do get to make more stuff, by the way, like it's always a question like will we make it to the next quarter or whatever. But if we do continue like doing things in the this universe, I'll try to keep everything like canon and connected.
I see.
There's also a bunch of like comics on the uh, Steam and Switch version of Manuel Samuel with like different stories that are all still in the same universe that has nothing to do with the events of Manuel Samuel. It's about death. Um, there was also something else I was gonna say that I have completely forgotten now. Dig deep in your brain, Ozan. What was it? What was it? No, it's gone.
You
It was
always
something
have
about the
to
universe and
be
stuff.
at the same position that you were when you were thinking of that thought. It works, by the way. Like you have to remove or be be again
Maybe
at
let's
that
try
position.
some different things.
Like a karate, yeah.
No, I don't. What the deal was?
I see.
Um, yeah, what were you gonna say? For
So yeah, what
do
I
you
wanted
remember
to
what you
say
were
is
gonna say?
that's after I played your games, by the way, and now after we talked about everything that now we talked about, even if it was your personal life or experiences or about the games, I really feel like you are on the right track of like not just being into one thing and into multiple things. And you know what's interesting? I will say it as a compliment and a positive, very positive thing for you. That I feel like you're really, for me in my heart, your games and your style of games and your visions of games are really similar for me. The double fine games made and also like the Tim Burton like movies because they were people who like pretty much resonates with some of the visions that you are making. Like in my opinion, I I know it would be stupid to say this, but if I would have to, somebody would tell me that okay, put Ozan's games and personal life and vision into a box. I would say that okay, here is a box. Here is like Double Fine, Tim Schafer's games. Here is like Tim Burton. Also like Jack Black adds to like Double Fine games, and here is Ozan because like your games really match those out of the word but still in the word resonating with real life issues games and visions and in my opinion it's a very good thing to say, right? So I feel like in my opinion at least with your vision and with your games you're on a very right and good track because
I'd be compared
you are really
to Schaefer
delivering
at
those
least.
visions that are not out there that much, so it's rare to happen these days that these visions are delivered in this form and with this art direction, and it's this like mind blowing, like and also like mind fuck stories which make sense at the end of the day in my opinion because like there are a lot of like this. I always say this in Hungarian. We always have this English word for these stories that are mind fuck, but they are still like those that we can resonate with the most because like they are you know not those typical love stories when you have a hero and a bad guy and they're fighting each other and that's all, right? They are nice stories, of course. I'm not like being harsh on those stories, but like you said, it's like really connecting everything into one piece, like it would be a
Yeah,
box and you throw everything in it, like being a creative kid with Lego, put all the pieces together and it will be ending up like a whole universe. And that's I think the nicest part about being creative is that like you don't limit yourself, but it's still that box of your vision. And like you said, those like segments of your life, those three segments are the three visions of your games. Yeah.
yeah. Those were. I mean, I like to put that like extra layer, but
Yeah.
like just subtly, and it usually happens by itself because
Yeah.
The Holy Gosh Darn story, it just um, that was just us thinking like, so all these, because we had already decided that all humans go to hell in Manuel Samuel, and it's not that bad a place. And like, no matter who you are, when you die, you go to hell. That's just how it is. Or you might go to a different afterlife based on your beliefs. Like, so if you're a Viking, or if you believe in Odin or whatever, you'll end up in Helheim
I
or
see. I
Valhalla.
see.
And
I see.
the theme of Helheim Hassel is that nobody does believe in those gods anymore. So the whole Helheim Hassel renovation project thing that they have, they're just trying to make people believe in Norwegian gods again, because Norse gods again, because souls are like currency for gods. Like they use that's like money, I guess. You have to pay a part of your soul to get into that afterlife. That's just me like coming up like an economy and a motivation for those gods. Like why do they want all these followers and stuff? But so that was just me thinking like, okay, so if everybody goes to hell and then we have this scene where they go to heaven, and back then they just went to heaven because I needed Satan to be mad and throw death into jail. But then we were like, but what happens in heaven? Like if nobody has ever gone up there and then suddenly 300 like kids show up, they would wreck the place, and everybody would be confused. So I started like thinking about that and thinking about how funny that would be. So that was just the vision in the beginning, like not anything about
Personal.
what are you supposed to do
Yeah.
or where do you belong or anything like that. And Helheim Hassel, the story of Helheim Hassel came up purely from like strategic things, because we came up with the story of the Holy Gashtan before Helheim
I
Hassel.
see.
Like we knew there was going to be like this painting thing, and that there was going to be some orphans, the kids, destroying heaven, and that you were supposed to be an angel that was trying to fix it. We didn't know that it was going to be a time travel game, like because it could also not be a time travel game. You could just go to the vault. The Holy Gashtan is missing. Oh, you have 6 hours, you have to find it before it happens, and then there's no, and then in the story when you find it and you plant it, she does it like 1 second before or something like that. um but Helheim Hassel we just made because Manuel Samuel all of a sudden did way better than we thought, and then we were like, are we messing up our chance to like really do like uh really build our company and our games, because we've had all these sales now on Manuel Samuel, and then all of a sudden we like release an Angel game that has nothing to do with Manuel Samuel apart from
I see.
the story.
I see.
So we were like, we should make another game that has to do with body parts. Also, another issue we had was, if we make a, because our vision was that every god coexists in the perfect paranormal universe, but first we make a game where you're in hell, and then the next game you're in heaven, and we're like, people are going to think that only angels and demons are real in this world, like
Sure.
before. And then if you make like a third game that's about a different mythology, they're gonna think, what the hell is going on? Like these guys are in it all of a sudden. Like, oh, they must be running out of ideas. So we were like, we need a different game that expands the universe more than just to heaven.
I
That's
see.
too narrow of an
I see.
expansion. We need a completely different
So it's like a
mythology.
branch of trees, right? Going here and there first,
Yeah,
and
so
then
I was like,
having the top of it. Yeah.
we were like, we need to show people that everything exists. So we need to pick a mythology
I
that
see.
is completely
I see.
different.
I see.
Um, that was like the first issue we needed to solve, wanted to solve with the next game. And then the second was, and also it should be similar to Manuel Samuel in a way. Like it should have to do with body parts, but we knew like we can't make Manuel Daniel now. Like we don't want to only
A
make
sequel, a direct
games where,
sequel to
yeah,
it.
yeah, like we didn't want to just make because then if you do Manuel Samuel 1 and then you do Manuel Samuel 2 or Manuel Daniel or Manuel Nathaniel or whatever, then that's all people are going to expect from you. They're like, oh,
True.
I
True.
wonder how Manuel you are in the next game. And we were
True.
like, we don't want to only make manual games,
True. True. True.
but we do want to make something that makes people realize, oh, this is from the same devs. So we were like, let's come up with a gameplay mechanic that still has to do with your body
I see.
and limbs and whatnot, but that's not similar to Manuel Samuel at all. Like something,
Sure.
we need something entirely different, but still body related. So that's how we came up with the gameplay mechanic of Helheim Hassel.
I
So
see.
at that point, we were like, okay, we know it's a game about being able to detach and attach your body parts. And we know that it's going to be in Norse mythology. And we picked Norse mythology because we live in Norway and Norse mythology is very well documented. There's like two main books. You read those two, you know Norse mythology. You're good. Like
Easy
it's
peasy lemon
easy.
squeezy, right?
Yeah,
fast,
and like
fast paced
I wasn't
learning.
that experienced as a writer yet. We only did Manual Samuel. It took us 2 years to make.
I
I
see.
just wrote it like based on hero's journey, but then even like all of a sudden it's like about robots and Satan and stuff. Like it escalates way too fast in my opinion and a little bit out of nowhere. Like I wish I would have written it differently today, but I wanted to make it easy for myself. So I was like, let's just pick either Norse mythology or Greek mythology. That's what's gonna be. Like, I'm not gonna pick something uh crazy. I'm not confident enough to do like Mephisto, like what is it called? Oh, what's the country Gilgamesh is from? Like Babylon, Mephistophania, or I can't remember
I
now, and
can't
I'm
remember
looking like an
either.
idiot. But they had that like a little bit like niche mythology, like which would be awesome to tap into, and like, and I love the book Anansi Boys,
Okay,
which is about like the spider god Anansi, and he's like from an African mythology
I
thing that
see.
we know nothing about. So I was tempted to like do something super like unknown, but I was like, dude, we're exhausted though. Like we made Manuel Samuel,
We
we
made games,
we have
so
to
now we
make
have to
it.
take a break from it
So
for 1 month.
I'll cut a corner like that wherever I can. On Helheim Hassel had 6 times more dialogue than Manuel Samuel
I
and
see.
6 times more story. So on the Holy Gosh Darn, when I realized, oh, this is gonna be a game about time travel and dialogue, it's gonna be a shit show to write. Like I knew that from the get go. I was like, this is gonna suck. How can I make it easier for myself? I know I'll just put myself in the main role so that I don't have to think about, oh, how would this character react to this situation? I'll just write her the exact way I would react to each situation she is in. So I cut myself a corner that way. I'm the most impatient guy in the world, so that worked out great.
Sometimes it
It
helps, right?
was,
So
yeah. Björn is not like me, and he was hard to write. He's like this kind-hearted guy who doesn't like action. He likes boring things. He likes to read and solve Rubik's cubes and stuff. And I'm like, when writing him, it was so exhausting. I was like, all right, how would he react to this situation? And then to cut myself a break, I had Pesto there, and our initial vision for Hell was that everybody but Death from Hell is super nice, and that's just a joke, Oh, they're from Hell, oh, they're demons and whatever, and then there's like super nice. That's just a joke. But first versions drafts of Hell and Hassel intro was like Pesto was like that. He was like, "Oh, hey, dude, what's up?" and stuff, and I'm like, I can't have two nice people. Like, I can't write this. So I wrote Pesto pretty much uh, from me again, like kind of an asshole and like impatient and snarky and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's fun. So I cut that corner there. Struggled a lot with Björn, but he is very well liked by the Helheim Hase community, luckily. But some of the reason, like why the Holy Gosh Darn dialogue has been getting a lot of good critic from everybody. And they're like surprised too. They're like, I can't believe they somebody managed to make a game that has good, funny dialogue. And oh, this is so rare in gaming. This game has. I went into this game expecting to cringe, but it actually has good dialogue and stuff. How did you do it? And I'm like, I just cut the biggest corner, just put myself as the main character so that I didn't have to think about what they would do or say in the different situations they ended up in. So that was like a cheat I did.
It means that you
So
will have to be a comedian in the future as well.
yeah.
Right? So yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you. Yeah.
okay.
Let
This. Oh my God, Fruit Bus just came out 15 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to.
Let us know if there is any more question, ladies and gentlemen, because it seems that my internet speed. I started this speed tester ongoing, and again, I hope that we weren't dropping frames. Please let me know, ladies and gentlemen, if we were dropping frames or not.
And if somebody has a question later,
Yeah, let us know. Let us know, and
do
you will be
let us
also
know.
able to ask questions in my Discord server. So
Yeah,
if you
and you
miss
can
anything,
ping me on Blue Sky if you want,
or
which is where
that,
I hang
sure,
out
yeah.
these days. Yeah, I'm happy to. And our Discord, are you in our Discord?
Sorry.
Uh, I'm sorry, wait a minute.
Oh yeah, I will invite you after the interview. Yeah.
Uh, no, because on our Discord there is
Oh, on yours, no, I haven't joined because I couldn't recall where should I join. I was trying to search for it,
oh,
by the way, but I wasn't like finding it
okay.
anywhere. So
No,
please send
only
me a
reason
link
I
to it and
meant
I will join. Yeah.
the only reason I'm mentioning it there is we have a bunch of channels where a bunch of people ask me questions, and we have a channel called like Deep Lore where I'll like
Discuss the
talk
lore.
about like yeah, like deep lore though, like
Nice.
ridiculous, like what kind of fabric is it on Sam's like jacket, or like why it is that way, or like any question anybody has about anything, I'm happy to answer them on our Discord.
Nice. Thank you for that. Feel free to invite me, and I will let my community know as well about that.
Yes, I
Yeah,
will invite
yeah.
you, and I'll join your Discord, and and people can ask me stuff there as well.
Yeah, thank you for that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let us know if there is any question, because like I said, I'm not sure if my internet will be fine. So hopefully it will stay stable. On my OBS, it's like my coding kilobyte per sec is like jumping up and down. It's crazy. Like I don't know why. But I checked my stream and it looks fine. Like there is no like frame
Yeah,
drops.
no, there isn't any.
Yeah,
I'm watching the stream as we're streaming it,
no,
and
it
it
just
looks
made me
fine.
so nervous because I always try to maintain this chill personality, but when it comes to technology problems, I can be so pissed off. Like especially because it's not just about me, but about my guests, about you as well. So it's like I don't want
No,
to
but I'm
ruin your
around, so.
experience. So that's why.
But yeah, no, but I'll be around for any follow-ups and stuff.
Yeah,
How,
let me know.
how we've been doing good 2 hours,
2 hours, 2
haven't
hours.
we?
Yeah, it's in two parts. So everyone. Uh, occasion of this episode, but I will say those who will be watching. I will also post about it on Twitter, and after I will edit the YouTube version, then I will edit into one so people
Yeah.
follow in one. So yeah. Hölgyek, urak, bármilyen
Well,
kérdés? Any question? Any question?
okay. I think I have to go now. Yeah, I definitely have to
Oh, okay.
run
Okay. Do you
along.
have like 10 more
Um,
minutes, if that's okay to you? Just to about the Discord and I was talking about you?
yes.
Okay. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, quick closing here because it's time for our guest here. Uh, he has his own things to do as well, and like I said, my internet is not that stable to like, be aware if any trouble will be out there. So I rather say ends now. But you will be able to ask questions on my Discord and on my friend's
Yeah.
Discord as well. So feel free to do that. And for those who are watching us, thank you for being here. And
Thank you
like I
for
said,
watching.
Ozan, thank you for you especially that you
Thank you
were
for having
here
me.
and it was really an honor. And like I said, I appreciate your honesty and all these things that you just said during our interview. So yeah, thank you, and don't forget to try out the demos of the games, and if you like it, buy it. It's totally worth it.
Oh
So yeah,
yeah,
marketing
definitely buy
time,
our
marketing
games.
time, marketing time.
Definitely do buy our games
Yeah,
if you watched it
yeah,
this far. That would be really
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day or night, depending where you live, everyone. Thank you. Bye, bye, everyone. Bye, bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, bye.